Loud. All right. We are cooking with oil. We're live streaming and now we're broadcasting. Oh my goodness. It's 11 o'clock. It's Central Time. It's time for us to start. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jim Grant. The Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support show is proudly sponsored by the good guys at speakerspathway.com and the 6-Minute Webinar. Is it okay if I share my screen with you and show you where we can find some of the speakers that's been on before? And the speakers will be there today. You go to speakerspathway.com. And you can see here, we got at speakerspathway.com right down here. This is the Messages of Inspiration, Hope, and Support. These are a few of the speakers we've had on. But when you click on See More, this page here will pop up. And there we have several people listed per page, each individual presentation. As you can see here, we've got pages and pages and pages of these people. And whenever you click on someone, I'm going to click on Donna Guinois. And let's see, Donna, her presentation will be right there. My internet's kind of slow, but there is a presentation there for you. You can see the YouTube link there. Let me back up and try another one. And just give you an idea, let's try Philip. Philip Turner we had on. There's Philip's. And most importantly, the value here is that when you go through and you look at the various different speakers, be sure and look at their topic and see if it resonates with you. And if it does and you enjoy it, please get in touch with that individual speaker. Let them know, say thank you. I really enjoyed, your message. And if you know someone that could really benefit or needs to hear this particular message or any of the speaker's message, please let them know. Just copy the link to him. You see up here, speakerspathway.com, and his name, Philip-Turner. Send it right on out. And let the speaker know that you did that because they would greatly appreciate that. Plus, I mentioned we're also part of the 6-Minute Webinar. The 6-Minute Webinar, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, if you got a product or a message you want to get across with a call to action within 6 minutes, this is where you need to be because so many webinars, they drag on and on and on. The 6-Minute Webinar is very precise, very clear in its message, and it has a call to action. So click on the 6minutewebinar.com. I don't know why it says they're done there, but it's just 6minutewebinar.com here. I don't know where that came from. But that's all you need, 6-Minute Webinar, and it will be done. Now it's time for me to stop sharing my screen, and I got to bring a young man, Mr. Zachary Ramey. I'm going to bring him to the stage. Let me cut on his camera and his mic, since I got to do all this techie stuff here behind the scenes. When I'm on the radio, I don't have to worry about that because I got to, here we go. Zachary, there he is. How you doing, brother?
How we doing? How we doing? Doing fantastic here. Beautiful day here in Chicago. Beautiful day.
Good. We're so glad that you're here. Let me bring you to the, give you the spotlight there. And you're going to be talking to us today how your life went through a total career change and how you remain positive and how you're going to share a message of inspiration, hope, and support to others who may be going through a change like you did. Zachary, I know it's going to be a great message for everyone. Let me do two things. Let me cut off my camera and mute my mic, and the stage is yours.
Well, thank you, Jim. Once again, my name is Zachary Ramey. As you can see in the background, I am the host of the Off the Glass podcast. My website is www.offtheglasspodcast.com. And my email address is offtheglass@theofftheglasspodcast.com. So for instance, if you're into sport, I cover mainly basketball, but I also have been talking more about current events and politics and kind of using my perspective as an African-American male in this country, as well as a former law enforcement officer, to kind of talk about some of the issues that are going on in our country today. But as Jim said, without further ado, today I'm going to talk about switching careers and changing careers and how I chose to do it in the middle of a pandemic. And I know some people might be listening to this and thinking, is this guy out of his mind? But hey, first, before I get into it, I'm gonna let you know what led me up to this decision. I'm gonna give you a quick story. About a year ago, I was on patrol. I was a law enforcement officer at the University of Chicago, the prestigious university there on the south side of the city. And we had a typical call. We had a robbery. Long story short, we was able to arrest the gentleman, the offender. In the process, I had almost had an asthma attack, had to go to the hospital. And I say all that to say this, because sometimes, depending on what your job is or just in general, people have those moments at their job when it becomes overwhelming. It becomes hard. And for me, the way that case played out, justice, in my opinion, was not served. And for me, that was kind of the last straw in the beginning of the end in my career in law enforcement. I had become frustrated, but I have 2 small children. I have a wife. I'm the sole provider. I'm the breadwinner. My wife doesn't work. She's a stay-at-home mom. We've chose to go down the path of homeschooling our children, which has actually kind of been beneficial during this pandemic time. But with me being the breadwinner, how was I going to provide for my family? How was we going to have medical insurance? All these legit questions. So I lingered about a year later. Fast forward, the podcast has taken off. Things are going well. Other opportunities are presenting themselves. And now I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I'm doing a job I really don't want to do, but I'm scared to leave. I'm passionate about my other job, but this job pays the bills. So I was caught between a rock and a hard place. We get to the pandemic, and as we all know, because we all been going through it, life has changed forever. I started looking at my 401k. It was getting low. Luckily, it built itself back up, and I said, you know what? If I'm ever going to make the leap, I have to make this leap now. Now, what got me to make that leap? Number one, I have a very strong support system. My wife, unbelievable, love her with all my heart, my best friend. I have 2 kids that support me. My young son is only 3, and he knows dad is going downstairs to work on the podcast. So to see the joy on his face, to know I'm in a process of building something that I can pass on to him was very important. So for anybody, look at your support system. Now, let's say, hey, Zachary, I'm not married. I don't have a husband. I don't have a wife. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a girlfriend. But we all have somebody we can lean on. Look at your local church. Look at the different groups that we can find on Facebook, our best friends, somebody that you can confide in and support. But more importantly, you know what I decided to do? I decided to look at myself. I've been 38. I'm 38 years old. I'll be 39 this year. And what life has shown me, that the best support comes from within inside. But for a lot of us, we have to remove that fear of being great. I had a podcast a couple months ago. I entitled it The Jonah Complex. And I'm not going to get into the whole deep story of Jonah, but bottom line, it's basically a fear of being great. And in the podcast, I used it to talk about, because in the basketball world, in the sports world, we didn't have any sports. So the big talk of the town at the time was The Last Dance, the Bulls dynasty. So I was talking about Jordan's greatness, but it made me to start thinking. I was like, wow, that's what kept me at that job for so long. I was afraid of embracing my own greatness and my own destiny. Because one thing this pandemic has shown me, you can't necessarily rely on outside forces, regardless of what aisle you fall on with the political thing. And I'm not here to turn to a political discussion, but the support has been lacking in a lot of areas. A lot of us had to lean on our family, lean on our community, lean on our neighbors. But more importantly, we have to lean on ourselves. We all are great in something. We are all our geniuses in something. So for me, I had to let go of that Jonah complex and don't be afraid to embrace my greatness. So here I am. I was able to leave my job. So I said, you had that great support system. What was important for me, once I got out of that week or 2 of vacation mode, because let's just be honest, I've been working extremely hard. Prior to being law enforcement, I went to school full time. I drove a trolley. I was a basketball coach. You name it, I did it. So I've been going. So I'm not going to lie, I used a little bit of time, but I realized it was important to get myself on a schedule. I set up my daily affirmations, so things that we call them goals, what I wanted to achieve for that day, that month, and then going into the next 6 months and a year. So I had to get myself organized. So let's go back again. I had to make sure, you got to make sure your support system is there. You got to make sure that you are there, leaning on yourself. And then I had to get organized. So I set up a schedule. And then with the podcast, things have been better. My mind is clear. Because, at work, a lot of us at our job, I don't care what it is, I try to explain that to police to kind of humanize the job, because regardless of how you may feel about different things going on in the news, it is a hard job, but it is a job like everything else. We have to deal with bosses. We have to deal with managers. We just call them different things. So a job for a lot of people can be very, very stressful. So once that stress was eliminated, my creativity went through the roof. I've been booking bigger guests. Other things are in the works. I've been writing my journal. I journal a lot. I might turn it into a book, who knows? But bottom line, what I'm saying is, once I made that hard decision to leave my job, things have been great. Now, also too, using perspective, being transparent. Some days, it's a little bit tough, where I got to make sure I'm planning out different things because I don't have that check that hits the bank account every 2 weeks. But the amount of freedom, the amount of peace of mind that I have, I can't trade it for anything else. And I think that's something else that I learned coming through this pandemic and on this side of leaving my job, because at the time leaving my career, it was uncertainty. I didn't know what to expect. But looking back on it, I realized how important during this time peace of mind is, how it relates to our overall health. Because while we're waiting on a vaccine and different things of that nature with the virus, nobody said you couldn't exercise. Nobody said you couldn't boost your immune system. And I've been doing all of that. My peace of mind, again, my physical health, everything has been wonderful. So that keeps me focused and keeps me going and keeps me driving to be successful. So again, just to recap, make sure your support system is strong. You're going to need the support. But if you're one of those people that don't have a big support system, look no further than yourself. Make sure you put yourself on a schedule. Get organized. Start your daily affirmations or your goals or your dreams or your ambitions, whatever you want to name them, and start writing those down. And start, like I said, by what you want to accomplish that day, what you want to accomplish that week, what you want to accomplish that month, and so on and so forth throughout that year. That'll keep you on task. This is a period of uncertainty, but I'm telling you, we can all be great. Throw out that Jonah complex and go and embrace your destiny and embrace your future. Again, my name is Zachary Ramey. I'm the host of the Off the Glass podcast. Make sure to follow me. My website, again, is www.theofftheglasspodcast.com. And my email address is offtheglass@theofftheglasspodcast.com. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Hope this message helps you make that decision and come on this side. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Well, Zachary, thank you, sir. That was really a great message. I really enjoyed it because a lot of people, they're just too afraid just to, to take that step. The people are more afraid of success than they are failure.
That is very
And
true. Very true.
yeah. And I really applaud you for being able to step out of your comfort zone and say, this is it. I'm going to do something, because everything you do in life, you've got to love what you do and you've got to enjoy it. And
Yes.
it's got to be able to sustain you. And the
Yes.
secret to that is by paying it forward, blessing others. And when you do that, you too will be blessed yourself.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that's very important, because it's kind of like the old saying that Zig Ziglar used to say for many years: you can get anything out of life that you want, as long as you help other good people get what they want. And that
Fact.
is very, very true. But notice the prerequisite in that: you got to help someone first before you can expect to be helped yourself.
I was also taught the law of reciprocity. What you give out is what you receive.
Yes,
So
sir.
as the Bible says as well, if you plant good seeds,
Mhm.
you'll bear great fruit. If you plant bad seeds, don't expect great fruits. It's the
Yeah.
same thing, same principle that I like to live by.
Growing up on a farm, I learned you can't plant corn and expect cabbage.
That's very true. That's very true. That's very true.
Well, once again, sir, would you be so kind as to give your website and your email address, how someone can get your podcast? Be sure and mention that, sir, if you would, please.
Sure. The website again is the name www.offtheglasspodcast.com. The email address is offtheglass@theofftheglasspodcast.com. So as I stated before, I was in law enforcement, so I kind of pigeonholed myself with my title, but basketball has been good to me. I traveled the world, the country. So we're just going to kind of expand the brand as we go. So be looking out for current events. I'm doing a series called Where Do We Go From Here? So talking about different topics. And then also, of course, if you're a fan of the NBA, the WNBA basketball in general, and you like a message, no ESPN, no hot takes, but intelligent basketball with a message, I'm definitely the podcast for you. So again, I appreciate this opportunity, Jim. This is fantastic. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. So, for you folks out there, if you want some good, intelligent basketball topics, you need to get in touch with Zachary. He's your man there. Zachary, thank you so very much for being a part of the show. It's good people like you with valuable messages that make the show a success. Me being the host, I'm just a guy that just really gets blessed here left and right. And most importantly, I want to thank you for taking the time out today to be a blessing to others. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too, sir. And if you're around, if your schedule permits, I always bring everybody back at the end of the show. We have a little wrap up. So if you're able to stay with us, we'd love to have you.
Okay, will do.
Okay, let me do a little work here. And I need to cut off Zachary's camera there and mute his mic. And I need to bring Matthew Corbin. Matthew's been with us before. He's been on the show before. And, he loved me so much. He says, I just got to come back and spend some time with Jim. Matthew, did you get a request there to turn your video on? Yes, you did. How are you, sir?
Hi, how are you? I'm good. It's good to be back.
Good. Yes, sir. It is good to see you, my man. How's the world been treating you since you've been on the show?
It's great. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And, the first time we had you on, I don't remember the topic that you spoke on because we've got over 200 speakers now. But I'll tell you what, I do remember one thing that you said about inspiration. And you just really hammered about you continue to be inspired and believing in yourself. And I remember that. And that made an impression on me because that is a message that everyone needs to hear today. They really do. But you're going to be talking to us today about when you fall, get back up. I'm paraphrasing that a little bit, but it's very important because we all fall, we all struggle, we all have needs. And that's why we have the messages of inspiration, hope, and support, number one. Number two, that's why we have friends. And that's why we have, we help others in our hour of need. That's what we're supposed to do. So let me cut off my video and mute my mic. Matthew, the stage is yours, sir.
Hi, thank you, Jim. And that was very inspiring, Zachary, by the way. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. I'm going to talk to you about how to stand up whenever you fall. And this has been the story of my life, honestly. I fell so many times and I was able to stand up every time. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit a story about myself. And I'm going to share with you some stuff, my personal experience and how I was able to stand up every time I fell. And I can't remember how many times I fell, honestly. And at the end, what did I do? So when I was a little, I used to be a martial artist. I'm still a martial artist. I practice martial arts, but my instructor, my sensei used to tell me, if you fall down 6 times, make sure you get up 7. And I always thought, why 6? Why 7? What's the thing about falling and getting up? And growing up, I used to think that, okay, here's the thing. I need to fall, then stand up, but I cannot exceed 6. But growing up in the other part of the world, where I was born in Lebanon, and with war and everything, and putting all kinds of pressure, working harder, traveling all over the world, learning many languages, and being able to put up with everything, kind of steered my life towards pressure and towards keep fighting until 4 years ago. 4 years ago, it was my biggest fall. And before that, I used to fall a lot. We had our house burned 4 or 5 times. We moved 5 or 6 houses. Every couple of years, we had to move because of the war. I moved so many schools until the age of 18. Maybe I moved close to 11 or 12 schools, countries, cities. I went to school in Lebanon, in Egypt, in France, in Switzerland. I had to learn many languages, but that was fine because this was shaping my character, my personality. This was shaping everything. But 4 years ago, I went to the doctor and I want to get myself tested because I was having some weakness, and I was feeling very weak and sometimes fainting and stuff. And to be honest with you, I've been working for the last 20 years over 15, 16, 17 hours a day. And when I reached there, the doctor did the test and he said, "It doesn't look good. You don't have much to live." And this hit me hard. And it's then when I remembered that sentence that says, if you fall down, make sure you get up. It doesn't matter how many times you fall. You just need to keep moving. You just need to have a purpose for your life. And this is when I thought, what is my purpose? I've been lost. I've been chasing fame. I've been chasing awards. I've been chasing money. And this is not what I want from my life, because look at me now. The doctor is telling me I don't have much to live, and what I accomplish, just a fat bank account. Who cares about that now? How will it do me any good? It will do the doctor some good. He will get paid. That's it. So to make story short, I started fighting. Since I told the doctor I need to take the operation, I need to take the chance, I need to fight, I need to stand up again, because if I do this, I want to change my life. And by changing my life, I want to change the life of people around me. And this is when I decided to become a coach. Before that, I was a business coach. I was more of a consultant and an advisor. And 4 years ago, I got certified as health and life coach. And I've been working with businessmen, entrepreneurs, and top executives on helping them how to restore their life, how to restore the balance to their life. Because we don't know it until we fall real hard that we've been planning for the big fall all our life. Life is hard enough, but we make it harder on ourselves because we need to match everything in life. We need to exceed the expectation of the whole society and of the whole community where we live. Everything nowadays has price tag. You know, from the moment we step out of our home, there's a tag on us, on what we drive, what we wear, how we speak, how we talk, where we go, where we eat, and somehow we get lost in these things and we start wanting more and more and more. And just like Zachary said before me, you have to challenge yourself. You have to just follow your passion. You have to believe in yourself. So after being a successful businessman, after being a CEO, after being on top of my career, like a director for a multinational company and traveling all over the world, I gave this up, and I came back home where I am now in Ohio with my family, and I started working from home. I started being a coach, and believe it or not, I love it. I mean, this has changed my life. Just seeing the amount of change I'm able to do it. And to be honest with you, every day I wake up in the morning thinking this is hard enough. And I've been through a lot, from changing houses to changing countries, changing languages, and to changing everything. And I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to retire. And then something good happens. A client calls with something good, or something good happens, and it gives me more motivation. And it makes me realize one thing, that it's really a loop. It's really a circle. I mean, when we do something good and we receive the result, we get motivation, but it's not only that. We give motivations to other people. We inspire people around us. And we need this. We need to keep on inspiring people around us. We need to keep on inspiring everyone for our sake and for the sake of the people around us. So this is where I thought that now it makes sense. I mean, since I was 5 or 6 years old, I've been hearing the sentence, stand up, don't fall down, stand up. And it took me like 4 years to just realize that this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do, because it's not life that knocked me off. It's me, it's my choices. But guess what? It made me the person I am now. So I don't regret anything. So guys, what I want to say is, believe in yourselves, keep moving, keep standing up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever fall. This is what I tell my clients. This is what I tell my family. This is what I tell my wife, everyone. And we all have people around them that have pushed them and that has supported them. And we need to rely more on those people, and we need to isolate ourselves somehow from the negativity of stuff, or of the noise that are all around us. I mean, I've been blessed to have an amazing wife and kids and family, and they've been supporting me and pushing me, and this is really a blessing. Guys, there's a lot to share, and I think that it's not fair to say it all here, but what I can tell you is I have a lot to share. I have, as a coach, I have developed some methods to go through the whole pandemic we're in. I have developed some methods for people who lack some balance in their lifestyle. So please connect with me. My website is www.matthewcorban.com. This is Matthew Corban, Korban.com. On the website, you can find, you can schedule a free session with me. You can find my email, my contact number, everything. Connect with me. We can chat more. I can tell you more details about how I met my wife, and I can tell you more because it's a very interesting story. And it tells you how you shouldn't sometimes just fight, or just you just need to let go and go with the flow sometimes, and keep challenging yourself, keep believing in yourselves. Connect with me. It's matthewcorban.com. You have a great day. It's been amazing being here. I want to wish you all the best. Always breathe in the positive vibes, breathe in everything that is good, and breathe out everything that is bothering you. Thank you. Thanks, Jim, and stay healthy, everyone.
Well, Matthew, thank you, sir, very much. I really do appreciate what you were sharing there. And let me do a couple of things here real quickly. I just want to say your message is always, I remember it from previously because it really floored me. And may I share my screen and show others where they can find your previous talk at? Would that be okay with you?
Oh, please do. Thank you.
I'd be glad to. It'd be my honor,
Thank you, sir.
It would be my honor. While he was talking, I had to go back and I had to go here to, if you see here, speakerspathway.com up at the left /Matthew, MATTHEW Corban, KORBAN. He was with us on Tuesday, April the 14th, and this was his message: transformational breakthrough. Flip the negative to become positive. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can see with the title of that message there and what Matthew said today, he is really true to his school when it comes to, being able to share an inspiring message, because his life that he lived, and no matter how many times that he, fell, he got back up. And most importantly, Matthew, thank you for keeping the faith in yourself, keeping the faith in your life, and sharing what you went through with
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you,
Because
sir.
you're going to resonate with people that I can never touch. And that's the value of the messages of inspiration, of hope and support, because that's why we're here. And ladies and gentlemen, I know that you know some people out there can say, hey, I can connect with Matthew, or I can connect with Zachary. And of course, Danny's going to be our third speaker here in just a moment. But please get in touch with these wonderful speakers. Just say thank you for your inspiring message. I shared it with a friend. Matthew, that'd make you feel pretty good, wouldn't it, brother?
Oh yeah, thank you. Of course.
It certainly would. And most importantly, think about how you would be blessing someone else if you took the time to forward Matthew's or Zachary's or Danny's or any of the other speakers there at speakerspathway.com under the messages of inspiration, hope, and support. Think about how you could help them in their hour of need. That's why we're here, to help one another, to go and grow. And let me just simply say, I've got to get Danny to come on board. So Matthew, I'm going to bring you back to the end of the show. We'll wrap everything up. So let me cut your video off there. I got to do all these techie things here. You may hear my phone ringing in the background. I'm a very popular guy. I say that in good humor. But let's see. Let me cut off these. Stop the video there and mute this mic. I'm used to someone else doing all this techie stuff here. Danny, I'm going to give you a request to start your video. Please cut it on there, sir. Did you get the request, sir?
Yes, I did.
That's you? I see a camera
I'm here.
there, brother.
I'm right here.
Okay, all I see is a camera there, brother. I don't
Hang
see
on
you.
just a second. Let me see if I can.
You look pretty good for a camera.
I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure this out here.
Don't worry about it, brother. I know all this techie stuff, and just take your time. We got a few extra minutes there, and I understand.
I got a camera here with a slash through it.
Yeah, I've broken a few cameras in my lifetime, and it goes from your one picture to another. We're wanting to see you live, though, so continue to work on that. While you do, I'm just going to share with people you're going to be talking about fighting poverty in the schools. Is that correct?
That's right, sir. Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. Your video's on, your mic's unmuted and everything. And
Not real sure why. I am so sorry about this.
well, that's okay. I mean, when it comes to live videos and live webinars and live shows, I got a radio show and all that. Trust me, when the wheels can come off on the curve once in a while, and don't worry about that. And let's see here, hit the camera icon. Okay, I've done that, and yeah, you should have the. Let's see,
Yeah, I've got you on here, and I've got. It's just
yeah, you see the names there because I got the cameras cut off.
Yeah.
But you can't get your camera on.
Not real sure. Danny, hit your camera icon. I'm hitting my camera icon, and it's just not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zachary's helping you there, and
Yeah.
give you the spotlight there. And well, I tell you what, why don't you switch back to just your picture that you had on there earlier? There you are. Are you number 62?
That's my son. That's my son.
Oh, that's your son. Okay.
Yeah, that's my
Okay.
son. Yeah, I logged in on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you logged in on Facebook. You didn't log in on the Zoom call on the Zoom?
No, I was having so much trouble on the Zoom call. We're having
Oh,
so much video problems here. Let
okay.
me see here.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's go to video settings.
Mm-hmm. Please bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, because technical things like this happen. And I'll just put a few more quarters in the old the old machine here while we're waiting to see if we can get, because I really want Danny's picture to be here so you'll be able to see him as he delivers this message. And so please bear with us for a few moments. Okay, Danny, you got your video cut off again. And let me send you a request to start your video.
Okay.
Did you get that, sir?
I got my request. Yeah, I'm going to start my video. And it
Hmm.
just goes to a gray background with a camera.
With a camera with a lens. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
that. Well, I tell you what, due to time is of the essence and all that, just go ahead and put your son's picture back up there, and we'll just roll with the flow then, brother, because that's all we can do at this point in time.
Yeah, I apologize so much, fellas.
But that's okay, and rest assured, I'm not going to charge you any more for that today.
I appreciate that.
I'm teasing, folks. I'm teasing. I don't charge anything for that, for someone to be here. And in fact, I don't even get paid for being here. But I enjoy doing this because it's all about serving each other. And Matthew, you're going to go, Danny, you're going to be talking to us about fighting poverty in the schools. So let me do two things. Let me cut off my video and mute my mic. And sir, the stage is yours. Just go with the flow, brother.
All right, thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate it. I want to talk to you today. For 28 years, I've been working with at-risk families and at-risk students. What I've known and what I've learned over those 28 years is that students can't learn. A lot of times students in poverty and students who are struggling can't learn unless their basic needs are met. And what I try to do is I try to meet those basic needs. We start out the school year, and I've got a lot to talk about, and I know we're going to get a few minutes, and I want to cover the highlights of what a school year kind of looks like. But first off, we start with what we call a Pay It Forward Day. We have, before the school year starts, we get with several of our local churches, and we have a day where we hand out school supplies, and we hand out all kinds of things that they need to get the school year started. But not only that, we not only hand out school supplies, but we get them ready for the school year. When I say we get them ready for the school year, we start them off with food. I have a local food bank that comes in, and believe it or not, they gave us 10 tons of food to hand out to our families last year. And when they came in, they just took groceries and groceries and groceries, and each family took out almost 2 weeks of groceries to start the school year out. They gave them, all kinds of things that they could eat, and all kinds of good things that the kids like, and snacks and lots of other things. The community came forward, and they donated clothes, and they donated shoes, and the kids started out the school year with nice clothes and nice shoes, and a lot of them were hand-me-downs, but they were all taken care of, and we didn't hand out anything bad, nothing with holes in anything like that. We also had beauticians come in, and every kid that wanted a free haircut, they got a free haircut. And we had 6 to 10 beauticians working on kids all day. And what a great blessing that was. My brother and I stood outside, and we cooked lunch for everybody that came through the line. And just a wonderful thing to be able to hand out meals to these folks, and the appreciation on their face and the joy that they showed for that was outstanding. We compounded on that after the day of service was over. We started the school year out, and we started a clothes closet, and we had a lot of staff members donating clean clothes to the clothes closet, and this does a couple things. When kids spill things on their clothes, or little kids have accidents, they don't have to call mom and dad. They don't have to go get all. We've got the clothes right there. We get them taken care of. And hygiene is a huge issue with a lot of our kids in poverty. And what we did was we partnered up with a hotel in a different city, and they gave us all their soaps and their shampoos and their deodorants, and we had it lined up in that room. And if kids came to school and they didn't have access to showers, and if they didn't have access to getting cleaned up, we took care of it right there. I also partnered up with a shoe store in another town, and they had surplus of shoes at the end of the month that they couldn't sell, and they would donate them to us. So we had all kinds of brand new shoes. I had one establishment donate 10 cases of brand new winter coats. We made sure that every child, K through 6, now, because a lot of times the junior high and the high school kids, they don't want to wear big bulky winter coats, but every child K through 6 received a brand new coat if they so desired, or if their parents needed for them to have that. And that was one thing. We also, not only that, we took care of their basic needs such as clothes and food, but we also dove into mental health issues. We partnered up with what we call the Family Resource Center. It's a mental health agency in our county, and they would come into our school once a week, and they would evaluate students, and they would work with kids, and they would work with families, and if they had to recommend other things for these kids, and this was all free. This was all stuff that they donated to us. And you're asking, where did you get a lot of this money, or where did you, how did you raise some of these money? I'm going to tell you right now. What we did was we partnered up with local restaurants, and we would have what they call teachers' nights out, where the whole teachers and all the staff would work in like a McDonald's or whatever restaurant you pick, and the parents and the kids would come in, and we decorate the building with our school colors, and we receive 10 to 15 to 20% of all the proceeds, and we would have teachers standing out in the drive-through, and for about a 3 or 4 hour period, the proceeds that we made, of the money that we made, we got a certain percentage of that to our school, and it went to us, and we started a fund like that, and we had folks come in and donate, and we would raise $4,000 or $5,000 a night doing that. And you take this money and you do a lot of different things with it, and we would take part of that money and once a month we would put it on school lunches. And so kids who didn't have any money for school lunches, or whose parents wouldn't fill out the forms for free and reduced lunches, because there are those parents who won't do that, we would have money for them to use on their account. Nobody went without food. So we did a lot of those things. And a lot of those things that you just don't think need done in the school system, we were making sure that our kids had it, because our kids were worth it. And we sent out emails to everyone in the district, and parents and alumni could donate to this. And we nothing of no cost to the children. And here's the other thing too. At Christmas time, we would let the kids get involved. And when I say that, we would partner up with an agency. It's called thepenguinpatch.com, and they would provide us with all kinds of things to sell at Christmas time. And we got 100% of the, I'm sorry, not 100%, 100% of the proceeds, but we would get about, I would say, between 75 to 80% of the proceeds, and we would send a certain amount of money back to them. And then we take that money that the students bought, because it was all gifts that they were buying for their parents and for their brothers and sisters. And they were little gifts, and they weren't anything major, but to those kids, they meant the world. And so they would take those gifts and they would give them to their parents. And then we take that money and we put it in a fund, and it would go directly back into the students, directly back into the school for things that they needed. And we would do this all year long. And we had such great response, and I want to teach schools how to do this. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. It takes time, don't get me wrong, and it takes cooperation, and everybody has to be on board, but you can raise money. I was in school districts that had 70, 80% free and reduced lunch rates, and it's possible to get these kids what they need. Every kid deserves a chance. Every kid deserves that kind of love. And you can show that love by just working really hard to get them the things that they need. We deliver washers and dryers to parents who didn't have any kind of money to pay for that kind of stuff. I had a little girl come to me one time, and she had an earring that got lodged in her ear, and her parents had no money to take her to the doctor. We went into that fund, we took her to the doctor, we had that earring removed, and we paid for it all. We partnered up with our local Lions Club for eyeglasses. There wasn't a kid in our building that if they needed eyeglasses, we got them eyeglasses. You just have to work at it, and those kids and those students deserve that. They all deserve someone to care for them and to love them and to provide for them. Guys, I appreciate the time you guys gave me a chance to talk. I know I'm talking fast. I get excited about this stuff. I'm passionate about this stuff. You can email me at holbiedk@gmail.com. That's HOLBIEDK@gmail.com. You can text me at 419-235-4204, or go to my website at dannyholbrook.com.
Wow, thank you so much, Danny. Let me do a little work here and go back to the gallery view here, and let me cut on the other speakers and presentators there, and Matthew and Zachary. I'm gonna cut your camera on and unmute you and all that. But the thing that I really was inspired about your presentation, Danny, was the fact that, some people look at this is wrong, that's wrong, we got to fix this, we got to fix that, all those other things. But you just flat dab went out and just says, hey, we're going to make this a reality.
We did. We
It's a
worked.
it's a grassroots effort, isn't it, sir?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm going to tell you, it didn't matter what we were told. We were going to get things done, and I firmly and I wholly believe, and I know this because I've prayed about this so much, that it's our responsibility to help those children. It's our
Mhm.
job to help those children. And you know, the last district that I was in, there was no tax base, there was no businesses. It was a very high poverty rate. But we believed in what we were doing, and we believed we could get it done. And I want to take this message out to other schools, and I want to implore them to please. It, and honestly, I just want to say this, and I don't want to sound arrogant when I say this, but you want to talk about breaking barriers down between people and breaking barriers down between cultures. When you help people, when they see your heart is meant to help them, it really opens doors.
It really does, because that's the main thing in life, is that when you share love and you share compassion for someone else and they see your heart's in the right place, a lot of that other nonsense we see going on in our country today, ladies and gentlemen, just falls by the wayside because it doesn't have any legs to stand on. It's all fuel for meanness and evilness and wickedness and all of that stuff. You know, it only comes from one place as far as I'm concerned. It comes from the gates of hell. It doesn't come from the throne of God. So
That's
we
right.
need to focus on loving one another and taking care of one another and respecting one another. You know, when I was in high school in 1967, I'm going way back. This is back when I was young and good looking, because I was young at one time, believe it or not. But Aretha Franklin had a number one hit called Respect. And she wanted to make sure that me and all the other kids knew how to spell it, because she spelled it out Respect. And, you know, if we show respect for one another's, that's going to bridge a lot of gaps there. And we show love and compassion and show that we're willing to help our fellow, you know, our fellow human beings. That's the
Absolutely.
secret sauce right there. And, you know, Zachary, I tell you, your message, you know, how the life change that you went through, the career change that you went through. And, you know, it amazes me how your message, along with Matthew's message there about when you fall, you get back up. Then we bring in Danny, and how all these things really tie in together. That's what I see consistently on the messages of inspiration, hope, and support. And then I know, Zachary, you'd like to say a few things to Danny about his wonderful talk, and vice versa, Danny.
Danny, your stuff was incredible, and what I've been hitting home on a lot on Twitter, especially with all the social things that are going on, and the Black Lives Matter movement and all this other stuff. You know, I was talking about donations, and mainly corporation donations, and how that is really, really great, and you want to partner, but how more importantly, the grassroots is the where you really see the change, the people who really have the boots on the ground that's doing the work, and how, you know, we need to start trying to really fund those within our own cities, counties, states. And if you want to see change, yeah, the corporations are great. You know, they have untapped resources that a lot of us don't have, but a lot of times that money doesn't make it to the grassroots. So, you know, you guys are down there, I believe, are in what state are we in down there, Danny?
I'm in Ohio. I'm in Ohio,
You're
Zachary.
in Ohio, so you know
Yeah.
you're doing the work. But I commend you, because I say this all the time. It's the grassroots, or it's the people who are there once all the pomp and circumstance is gone, that are left to really do the work. And again, I think one thing that we all need to come out of this pandemic with is we got to start relying on each other. We got to start coming together. When you break away race, you know, my background is history. You'll be surprised how a lot of us are all the same, and how
Mhm.
this country is really based on a lot of the haves and the have-nots, and how they use race to keep us all divided and tricked, because those of us who, if we're able to come together, you know, we can really get a lot of things accomplished. And I think if we really can hold on to this with this pandemic coming together, and people starting to really figure this out, that we're just in a lot of ways proverbial pawns being played, I think we will all be in a better place. But I really enjoyed what you guys are doing down there, over there, Danny, in Ohio, nearby Matthew. I mean, your personal story is just incredible. You know, I have an incredible personal story, but not like yours. But that, you know, being able to constantly get up, I think that's what life is all about. And I think at the end of the day, I always say this, being African-American male, I know it's going to be hard. The system is set up in such a way it's going to be hard. But at the end of the day, we're here. We got to get it done. You got to figure out how to get it done. So I was definitely inspired by both you guys' talks. I'm not saying that, I really were. Fabulous job. Jim, again, this is a great platform, man. I'm glad you reached out to me on LinkedIn, because I'm definitely going to be more and more checking in and seeing if I could find other people and other people to connect with, man. So, you know, kudos to you as well. Kudos to you as well.
I definitely want to do more of these, but I got to figure out how to get my face on this TV or on this camera. Zachary, thanks for helping me.
Yeah, you're too handsome of a guy to hide behind a camera now.
I was trying to tell you to hit that arrow next to the camera. If you hit that arrow next to the camera icon, it can kind of tell you, for some reason, what you're connected to and what you're not connected to. So I don't know if you were hitting that.
Yeah, I'm about to hit the wall. I'm telling you. You know, but listen, in all seriousness, Zachary, thank you so much for those compliments. And Matthew, what a great story you have. And Jim, thank you so much for reaching out and giving me the opportunity. I love this story that I try to tell people, and I love the stories you guys are telling. And Zachary, I think you said it best when you said let's break those barriers down. And you know, when we started this program, the Pay It Forward Day, we decided we were going to do it before school started, and nobody was mad at the principals, nobody was mad at the teachers, nobody was mad because their child got cut from the football team, nobody was mad because their kid was failing math class, anything. And people came together, and once they saw that you cared for them, it just broke down barriers. Now, I'm not the expert at it, but I'm telling you, 28 years of doing this, and it worked every time.
Wow. That's really amazing. You got a tremendous track record there. And Danny, once again, please share with the folks out there that would say, hey, I'd like to know more about what Danny's doing. How can they get in touch with you, sir?
The best way is email me at holbiedk, that's HOLBIEDK @gmail.com. Or you can go to www.dannyholbrook.com. And you can see what we do, see some of the speeches I've done, see what the work we've done. And or you can text me at 419-235-4204. Love to hear from people. And I also want to add, Jim, one more thing. My buddies and I during this pandemic have started what it's called Quarantine Live. It's a Facebook show, and we give out prizes to people, and we just do little trivia games. And it's just a way of businesses. We can reach out to the businesses can give back to the community, and everybody puts a smile on their face.
That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. And I tell you right now, you know, Matthew, your story continues to resonate with me, because I picture myself going through something like that, and oh my goodness gracious, I got to tip my hat to you, sir. Because, you know, going through your challenges in life and being uprooted like you have and all the things that you've went through, I tip my hat to you, sir. I really do. And Zachary, I admire you thank you for your service and wearing a uniform, sir, number one. And number two, thank you for inspiring the great information. And if we, you know, come together like family, treat each other like family. Because I tell people, can you imagine what a wonderful world this world would be if everyone had the heart of the family dog towards their fellow man? We can take a big lesson from the dogs, can't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't normally like to refer to ourselves to that low life, but I mean, look what they teach us. They teach us how to love and how to, you know, take care of one another. And, you know, it's just pitiful that we see so much meanness and ugliness that's going on in our world today. And it's totally uncalled for. But a grassroots effort like what Danny's talking about, Zachary, the message you're talking about, Matthew, your message, holy smokes. We start pulling this together and start sharing it with others, let it multiply. In the end, we can win. There's no doubt about it, because it's an unbeatable team. It really is. It truly is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time is about gone. I'm so glad that you tuned in today. Sincerely, please get in touch with each one of these speakers. Let them know that you enjoyed their presentation. And most importantly, share their presentation with someone else that you know could benefit from it. And let them know, just say thank you for your inspiring message, because it means so much to them. On behalf of Danny and Matthew and Zachary, I just want to say to everyone out there, as I like to close the show, if it's your birthday, happy birthday to you. And remember, on your special day, all birthday cakes and all of the special desserts that you love, they are health food. So treat yourself and have a wonderful day. And we'll all wave goodbye as we sign off. Thank you again. Have a blessed day. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.